Irvingman, watches shows sitting on his can. Tells a story, tells a joke, monetizes cause he's broke. Look out, here comes the Irvingman.
Spiderman is interested in something going on at a convention center of some kind.
Jewels of the World featuring the Gingermere Ruby. The Gingermere Ruby. That's the ruby donated by the Maharaja of Gingermere.
He's used to reading upside down. He's a high school student. Ever been to an average study session? He wants to get a peek at the ruby, and getting up to the 34th floor isn't a problem for a spider.
Something tells me that slinky solo means trouble. Now that's a new approach. This time I'll call the tune.
He goes doo 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 doo, and the webbing obeys.
Wallop and web snappers.
It'll turn out to be an illusion, but it's effective enough that our man escapes with the gem.
No doubt about it. Only Spider-Man could have stolen that ruby. And now the Maharaja arrives on his yacht and refuses to see anybody until the ruby is found. It's up to you, Parker. I want pics of the yacht, the Maharaja, and the ruby.
But the ruby was stolen.
I don't want excuses. I want pictures.
Thing is, he knows Parker can get the pictures. He doesn't know how, and he won't ask. They have a deal. He gets exclusive access to the pictures as long as he never asks how Peter gets them. For all his faults, that's one deal Jonah has never violated. In the comics, there was a moment when Peter got tired of Jonah's abuse and took his pictures to a rival paper. The editor flipped over them, and he wouldn't stop asking nosy questions about how he gets them, what kind of camera he uses, how does he get around, yada, 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 and he taught Peter to appreciate Jonah real quick. That's the wrong music for the Spidey strut. Try this.
Talk about floating palaces. Either the Gingermere Ruby has a twin, or that's the... Oops!
And either your spider sense is on vacation, or you're a little hyper-focused and not paying attention to it. He has to fight off a bunch of goons with scimitars until the Fakir gets involved. Isn't that a typical non-American, bringing knives to a web fight?
It seems I've heard that song before.
Once again, I have to conclude that there's something wrong with his spider sense, because that's twice it's missed something obvious. How long has it been since he took that thing in for a tune-up?
Put this interloper in the brig. We'll let the Maharaja decide his fate.
Well, I got aboard, but this isn't quite the way I planned it. The little spider worked and worked to make himself a tool, I hope.
That guard was never seen or heard from again, and nobody could figure out why he painted that weird mural of himself on the wall before he left.
As soon as Mrs. Van der Sapphire, the star of Gingermere, is aboard, we cast off and leave these foreign fools.
Oops, there go my spider senses.
After him! Don't let him escape!
The Fakir thinks guns are too noisy. He has a better idea.
Now what's that Pied Piper up to? Crocodiles!
North America is home to two species of crocodile. Both live in very small areas of Florida. So if there are crocodiles in New York Harbor, our friend brought them with him. And since crocodiles are cold-blooded and need external warmth to get the energy to move, those three quickly cooled down in the cold northern water, fell asleep, and drowned in minutes. The Fakir went to jail for 2 years for animal abuse. If an alligator or crocodile wants to close its mouth, there's almost no force on earth that can stop them. Those jaw muscles are stronger than any human can imagine. Opening its mouth is another matter. Those muscles are pretty wimpy. So the best way to avoid getting eaten by one of these things is to do what Spidey did, hold its mouth shut. If you can do that while it's thrashing around trying to rip you to pieces with its claws, you might have a chance of surviving. If.
Police patrol! We can't afford to be suspected!
The cops will pick Spiderman up and give him a lift to shore. They won't even ask what he's doing out there. They know he's weird.
There's something fishy about that Maharaja, but I can't quite put my finger on it. Why would he steal a ruby that already belongs to him?
Why don't you take that photo to the police, or Jonah, or Betty, or Aunt May, or somebody who might be inclined to go ask him? Something that's easy to forget is the fact that he's a teenager. He's still fairly immature. He has all this power and he understands the responsibility that comes with it, but that doesn't mean he's not going to be impulsive, a bit emotional, and introspective. If you're not sure what that means, it means,
Mother, please. I'd rather do it myself.
remember when you were a teenager and you got stuck on something and couldn't let it go, even though you knew it might kill you, or worse, get you in trouble with your parents? He's no different, so he has to see this through himself because he has to.
If I can get to Mrs. Van Meer's star sapphire before the faker does, my signal device may lead me to the answer.
Fortunately, he can legitimately call himself a photographer for the Daily Bugle. It's amazing how many doors that opens. Planting his bug is almost too easy, but after the previous night's events, he'll take it. Sure enough, Spider-Man finds Mrs. Vandermeer tied up and the sapphire gone. It's no surprise when the homing signal leads to the Maharaja's yacht. In fact, it leads to the Maharaja himself.
Looks like nobody's home but us Maharajas. He must have heard me. Hello there, I'm your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Just thought I'd drop by and pick up that sapphire. Well, snap my webs. That's what's been bugging me. He's a dummy.
The Fakir stole the gems and set up this fake Maharaja in case prying eyes got a peek inside the yacht. And it worked for a while.
You are quite right, Spider-Man. I arranged for the real Maharaja to have a little engine trouble with his yacht. He should be arriving sometime tomorrow. But by then, we shall be gone with the jewels of great price.
In 1968, it was easy to conceal something like that long enough to pull off the heist. Today, a Maharaja with engine trouble would be all over TikTok, and the Fakir would have to run around screaming, "Fake news!"
The flute won't work for you, Spider-Man.
Who needs a flute?
Now it won't work for you either. Why Spider-Man didn't smash it is one of my own personal mystery questions. When he left Mrs. Vandermeer, he told her to send the police to the yacht. She balked at it, but she must have changed her mind because the police are here.
This fiendish faker fettered by your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yes, I know that's how it's spelled, but it's not an American word. It's a Hindi one, and it's pronounced Fakir. Sorry, I just had to shoehorn that in somewhere.
A fake Maharaja and a phony faker. Bah!
Okay, I have to admit, that doesn't work nearly as well if you pronounce it right.
Does that mean Peter won't get his bonus?
Bonus? I sent him after pictures of the Maharaja, not a dummy.
If I wanted pictures of a dummy, I'd have told him... No, way too easy. Plus, I believe I already did that joke. Jonah needs to come up with some new lines so I can. And he done... Okay, come on. Now do it with better air control.